Okay, so this is like my fourth time trying to make this video, and I'm doing quick capture because, goddamn, it's really hard to do this effectively. Um, if at any point, Choir Girl, that I don't actually answer your question, please try and understand that I have absolutely no ability to express my economic knowledge. And when I say my economic knowledge, I feel fairly confident that being asked to work as a TA for a university level education class that I've gotten consistently huge ass marks in, and we're not talking about like sissy little high school marks, we're talking like I understood 80% of the course material professionally. Like, we're talking people, for some reason, actually respect me. I've even been asked by people in the Economics Association, they've even confused me for a major. They've even complimented me on my ability, simply because some professors actually understand it. And yeah, enough of me self-promoting myself. Basically, what I want to say is, I feel pretty confident that I know this stuff. I just have absolutely no fucking ability to express it. Reason I almost failed one class. Okay, one thing you touched on later in the video was that you said, okay, well, people who make lower class or so, those people tend to spend more of their money. That's true, and in fact, that's not just true for you. It's not an anecdote. That's actually a fact. Like, people in lower class situations tend to spend a higher percentage of their income than they would saving it. And in fact, in some economic studies, that shows in fact, the whole reason why we have some classes and the difference between money is that a higher intuition when it comes to savings. There's a lot of things that go into classes and class warfare, but one of the things is that, yes, in a capitalistic society, the lower class are people more likely to spend their money than it is to save their money. Likewise, people who borrow money, people who go in debt, are more likely to spend their money than the people who lend money, who are people who save their money. And that's a huge component. It's one of the bigger aspects of economics. It's a relationship between people who borrow and people who spend, and it's a very important. I have no idea what that was. It's a very important aspect of economics. One of the problems is, though, is occasionally there's a lot more benefits to being a lender than it is to being a saver. In fact, in America and in North America in general, as opposed to that Americanadians. Fuck, I hate Marcel. Hey, God, I hate that guy. If it seems like I'm trolling him, I have a justified hatred of that fuckwit troll. Anyway, sorry. To continue. The reason why we're in such crap is because it's more profitable to make money off of people's debt than it is to sell them things. A lot of economics is spent on this whole, if I give you a sandwich and you give me money, or if I give you a sandwich and you give me water, we both benefit from the transaction. That is true. I can't deny that. We both, in economic sense, benefit. We both get an economic surplus of a thing we want, selling a thing we didn't want. But the problem is that our system is geared to the people who lend money get more benefit than the people who are more inclined to spend that money. And the reason why that's a problem is because an economy is fueled off of spending money, not necessarily people who save it. It's important to save money and to have a high savings rate. That's really only important for a few different things when it comes to investment and all that. It doesn't really benefit most people. It kind of benefits corporations more to have high savings rates. And even then, America and Canada don't have very good savings rates even then. So basically, we have a deregulated system that not only ships jobs out, but also gives power to people like credit card companies. For example, I work for a retail store. My retail store pushes our own retail credit card. Our credit card's interest rate is 29%, 1% lower than the legal level of how much it can be. They frequently tell us that the only reason our store is afloat is because of this credit card, the money we make for it. Basically, it's more effective to make money off of people's debt than it is to sell them things. So basically, we're kind of fucked because we've allowed these rules and we've allowed people to do this, where people are spending more of their money paying off their debt to some company who's a lender as opposed to people who are spending money. And you think, okay, well, someone's got a credit card, they're spending money more. Well, they are, but people aren't responsible with credit cards most of the time. If they're spending a lot of their money and don't have the means to pay it off, they're in debt. And basically, they spend their entire lives in debt. And that's a huge problem in today's world. So, I think one of the biggest issues is that. Now, another big issue is, of course, shipping jobs off. Well, America somehow still maintains to be the world's largest economy, despite also shipping off its entire jobs. In fact, one of the biggest issues with this is politically. You can't even blame banks or corporations for this shit, because a bank or a corporation is going to do. It's like a wolf. You know, if you put it in a hen house, you're an idiot for thinking it was going to do anything but take advantage of the situation. You know, they got tunnel vision. They're only going to go in one direction. They're hot rods, you know, they're not going to turn. It's really the government's fault for setting them loose like that. And people like Ronald Reagan and neoliberals are really the most responsible for this situation. Ronald Reagan basically got into power saying we're going to put America back to work. Ronald Reagan single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, but basically disassembled your industrial sector. Places like Flint, Michigan, or Detroit died because of policies that he did. The amount of multinational corporations doubled, tripled, and quadrupled in the following years. Essentially, deregulating the economy has allowed most of this crap to go down. And also problems that most of these people, like the right-wingers, are also strong anti-unionists and all of that junk. So in addition to not wanting to maintain a welfare state, in addition to selling off all of your jobs, in addition to having no promotion of unions whatsoever, your wages are low, you have fewer places to work, and you have absolutely no rules when it comes to owning property or manufacturing. Essentially, you guys are going to run out of places to work to. You're going to have a situation where you're either a rich Nobelite or you're a dreg working in like some horrible, horrible job. People blame immigrants for taking their jobs. Guys, you gotta worry about the assholes upstairs before you worry about the damn immigrants. Because if you, let me tell you, here's the one surefire way to solve the immigration problem. Force people to pay them the same amount that they would any other American. Don't shut them out. Just force them to pay them the same amount that they would an American. That will solve your goddamn problem instantly. Aside from that, I hope that somehow shed light on the situation. Otherwise, there was no way I can express anything other than what ifs, and I can't, I can't for the life of me recall. I made a video about economics like when my channel was first starting out. I took it down because it was so fucking awful. Like, my points were good, but I just have no means of expressing them. So, other than that, take care, and it's good to have you back.